to poke him.
No, he's here now.
Alright, we're in. Should we put on some Cypher music? No,
We can't hear you, man. Yeah, at least you're not talking on TeamSpeak.
we'll just let him talk. I'm here.
Yo, what's up?
What's up?
Yep. What's up, Fang?
How you doing, guys?
Pretty good.
Welcome to We Are
So I
ESO,
just wanted to
guys.
explain what was going on. What I was complaining about.
SypherPK is gonna
Gotta explain my
just
rant
explain
a little
this.
more clearly for the viewers.
for you guys. He's gonna
First of all,
explain this.
I don't give a fuck what people run in duels or in what people build for. I mean, as long as they're not exploiting, I don't really care. But what I have a problem with is people are accepting. A lot of people are accepting the fact that these min-max duel builds, basically what they are, not just duel builds, but just in general, when you min-max yourself, is you're completely minimizing your weaknesses, like completely. I know that's the whole purpose of min-maxing, but when you min-max with soft caps or with a more balanced system, you still had weaknesses. If you were a sorcerer, you used to run out of stamina. If you were a stamina build, you didn't have great utility in healing. If you were a magic build, you were really squishy. But nowadays, you can just minimize all your weaknesses and maximize all your potential on all aspects with certain setups. And that's why you have situations like, you know, when you're going against Chief. I was watching that fight, and in my opinion, I mean, it's just my opinion, but in my opinion, you outplayed him during that fight, the last fight. In my opinion, you outplayed him. You positioned yourself better. You put down more defense. You were on the offensive for majority of the fight. But what ended up happening is obviously you're not running a min-max build. You're not running a build that, you know, minimizes your maximizes your potential. You're not doing that, and you really can't even do that with a stam sword. You really can't. They're not on that pace yet. But
that's exactly right. Yeah.
when you have that type of healing, damage reduction, damage output, cost reduction, recovery, CC break potential, dodge roll potential, it literally becomes a game of just whoever fucks up first loses. Whoever just forgets the CC break half a second too late or too early, and it dilutes the skill so much from PvP. So much. It becomes completely just about build potential. And some of these guys, I mean, I'm not going to call people out, but I kind of do want to call people out, but I'm just not going to call people. Some of these guys are taking it to the extent of min-maxing their champion points depending on who they're fighting. They'll put 100 points into Elemental Expert if they're fighting a magic build. They'll put 100 points into physical reduction if they're fighting a stamina build. And it's obvious. You can see when it happens. Now, Chief is a great player. He's not exploiting. He's not doing anything wrong. But I was just commenting on that fight in particular. In my opinion, you outplayed him. You had him on the defensive for a majority of the fight. And you even got him low to the point where he was about to die. But because of how this game is set up, it doesn't allow you to win those fights unless you go down the same route that Chief went down. And there's nothing wrong with what Chief's doing. Even I min-max. Kingrichard min-maxes. People min-max. That's the whole point.
FENGRUSH.
We shouldn't accept this type of PvP playstyle. We shouldn't accept this like low punishment, low risk PvP environment that doesn't punish you for making mistakes, for accidentally casting the wrong ability, for dodge rolling at the wrong time, for not setting up yourself properly. There's no punishment. The punishment is very minimal, and that's what
I agree.
I have a problem with. And that's why I don't like dueling. I still duel, and when I duel, I take it seriously, and I put together great dueling builds, and I will duel my ass off. But I never really take it to the point where I'm like, okay, you know what? This makes me a great player because I can duel. Because I can duel, I can beat people. Because dueling has come to the point, because of the game, not because of the players, but because of the game, it's come to the point where it's literally coming down like 50% build, 10% race, 20, 30% CP, and like 10, 15% skill. Like that's what it's coming down to. The skill's playing such a minimal aspect of duels. And that's what I have a problem with.
The problem is that people who are dueling, they're just running specific dueling builds. Like I go to duels, I run the same thing I run in open world PvP. I don't put on a specific setup just for duels. A lot of these guys, they can't really do anything in open world PvP because all they do is focus on winning in a 1v1 situation. So they change up CP, abilities.
ESO live, baby. Or we are
on
ESO
what
rather.
type of character they're fighting. Just to get a win in a 1v1 situation. It's really not that serious.
Yeah, I agree. This is a different build. It's something I tried to make, and it works in its own sense. It worked better before. Um, right now, like it's taking more damage for starters, so I can't even pack on as much damage. But I don't know. No, I do know. It's people have like more. People are they're definitely healing for more. Like I skipped Thieves Guild. I really did. But I used this build before that, and yeah, Vigor and Rally have always been how they are, but people are fucking ripping big Vigors and Rallies right now. I
Well,
feel like at
they
least.
gave the stamp. Well, they gave Stamp Templars major mending,
Right,
and
and I feel
then
that big
DKs
time.
have major mending naturally,
Yeah.
and then Nightblades have cloak to work with their heals. You really just kind of out of luck as a Stamp Sorc when it comes to that aspect. But the
Yeah.
problem is like you can't just fight someone and I'm like, okay, this is their weakness. Let me attack their weakness. When you look at a player like that, there's literally zero weaknesses. The only thing, and you realize this, the only way you can defeat a build like that is to one-shot them within 1 CC duration. Just one-shot them. That is the only way you can kill some of these players, and that's why you have these crazy-ass combos for killing people. You can't just pressure them, because as soon as you start pressuring them and getting them on the defensive, their rally and vigor ticks, because of CP, because of how the game works right now, will just keep them alive. And they'll be able to do 3, 4, 5 dodge rolls in a row because they're built to do that. Their build can handle it. And there's zero punishment for allowing yourself to be on the defensive or get pressured or whatever the case is. And the fight will turn around in literally 1 second. They'll dodge roll a couple times, get their health back, get you with 1 or 2 wrecking blows, and you're out. You're out of the fight. There's zero punishment. Your build right now is being punished tremendously. If you let your health get low, it's hard for you to catch back up. Now I know you're playing the specific build, and no one's forcing you to play it, you know. But when I'm watching your build play, you're running out of stamina sometimes. You're sometimes unable to heal. Your DPS can be mitigated in different ways. That's how every build should be. Every build should have these weaknesses. Naturally, people don't have to give it themselves, but every build should have their weaknesses in order for PvP to flourish, and especially dueling. Dueling was one of my favorite things to do in this game, but now I literally just do it because it's something I can do on stream. I dread doing it, and it's not. I dueled today. I dueled today for 4 or 5 hours. I lost to like 2 or 3 people. Only one person actually. So the point I'm trying to make is like you can still duel, you can still be competitive. I'm not unable to duel, but there's no pleasure, there's no sense of accomplishment at all with these fights.
Because it's so simple. Like if you win or lose, you know why you win or lose. It's just so simple. Like, oh yeah, this guy was. It wasn't that he didn't play good. He just his build was shitty. Or damn, I need to change this ability. Or I'm not doing enough damage. Or I'm running out of stamina. It's just so simple why you're losing nowadays, or why you're winning. It wasn't like that. Like we used to duel with our open world builds. Like we may change one ability, but that's it. We also didn't have a champion point. We couldn't, respect the physical DPS if we was fighting the stand build. We didn't have that back in the day. And we also had soft caps, so we had to build differently.
Can't focus. I got him. I was trying to get him.
Infinite resources, insane healing abilities, over the top damage, infinite dodge rolls.
The damage reduction as well.
Infinite shields. Damage reduction is over the top. It's everything.
If I do that standard stand build, like I'm just outclassed, especially on sustain. Like that's where I get beat out, and that's what sucks for Stamp Sorc. Yeah, that's what I mean. Is really the healing perspective, because people are gonna play catch up, and now you have the poisons. It's really exacerbating that weakness.
Oh,
so like,
the poisons. Okay, the poisons are cool, but the poisons is just another exploitable aspect of the game that will be used in that way, especially in a dueling environment. People will run specific poisons against specific characters, and poisons are mandatory. I remember you were talking at PAX about how are they going to balance the weapon damage. I mean, the weapon enchants and the poisons. They didn't balance it.
Totally not. They just threw them in there.
The closest thing that is close to even being considered is the weapon and spell damage and shit. It gets you about like 400 extra weapon and spell damage. That's all right, but everything else completely out the window. Poisons outclass it tremendously.
Yeah, that one only because it's like, is this a build that will burst the guy before he gets up? Because that's unfortunately what the game comes down to. It's like for me to beat Chief, I have to kill him before he gets up. I won't
Yeah,
run his resources out.
within one tick, like one.
Exactly.
One
It just
duration
has
of
to
a
be
CC.
like I have to have a build that has just enough sustain, but then also land, do like a crit rush, uppercut, dawnbreaker, execute, and he has to not break it, and he'll be like,
But
oh
that's
fuck.
yeah. So basically,
But
what
he's
you're
gonna
saying
have the
is, in order to
stem,
beat it,
but I have
you
to just
need
do it
to
quick enough.
you need to rely on him like having a CC break bug or something, because he's not
Right.
running out of stamina. You're not running
No,
him out of
that's what I
stamina.
mean. That's not gonna
So
happen.
he needs to bug out, or his keyboard needs to stop working in order for you to beat him. And it
Every
shouldn't
other
be like that.
combo that I have available to me on this character, he will out heal with just vigor and rally. So, and that goes for a lot of people. I mean, it's not like just him. That goes for most any well built class. Like that's what I have to do. I haven't got to the two-hander build. I just had this on me, so I'm trying to finish it. And it's good against a lot of stuff. But yeah, if a player really knows what they're doing and min-max and even beyond that, like I don't know what fucking poisons are running. That's one of my biggest gripe right now is that like I can't even see when a poison's hitting me or what poisons they're using on me.
I'll tell you which one I consider is one of the top. There's two of them actually. One of them is like a perma root, where it gives you root your opponent for 6 seconds. You get root immunity for 6 seconds.
I saw
You
that.
increase
It's
their
joke.
stam cost. Then the one I was using is there's two versions.
think I
There's
put a
Ravage
Cypher
Magica and there's
emote.
Ravage Health. Ravage Magica increases their stamina and Magica cost by 30%. Ravage Health does that as well, but Health does poison damage on top of that, and then Ravage Magica makes them vulnerable to damage, so you do 8% more damage against them. That one's probably one of the best ones.
Yeah, that's like minor, not Berserk, right? But the other one, Berserk's crit, right? It's like one of those buffs, but yeah.
Well, it's
I
a
mean-
debuff. It's a debuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
basically amping 8% or reducing on their end 8%. But yeah, there's some serious like those are serious fucking effects. And I mean when you look at those numbers and compare them to stuff in the CP tree, I mean it's basically like some of the stuff you get to do is like create the opposite of an effect, like a maxed out effect in the CP tree and more, 30% instead of like say 30% increased cost instead of 25% reduction if it was maxed.
Yeah.
Like you start flipping things. But some of these classes that get access to a lot, again, like Templar is an example, like so you can amp up your healing through the CP tree, you get passive, you get major mending, and like you're already at like plus 50 to 70% like healing through multiple avenues. And my build is like built to like reduce healing to try to wear people down. I have Major Defile. I have the other thing for. I was using the poison for it too, even on Chief. I also have CP in it, and it affects the poison and it affects Defile, and like it affects it, takes it over 50%. It just doesn't matter. Like they're just healing through it in like one rally. So it's like okay, well, I don't know. You could argue, well, that's my strength or whatever, but it's fucking stupid. Like, if there's no way to counter that because there's no weakness you're giving up for having such a powerful strength. Because again, it just says, well, don't worry about out-sustaining. Don't worry about outdoing their healing. Don't worry about any of that. Just burst them in a window. It just comes back to being a burst game, like 1.6. Is that what we're going for? And then once this patch releases, Stam Nightblades are going to be shredding people for starters. I can tell you that. Next patch, they're going to have to go and nerf Stam Nightblades again. Be like, oh, we created 1.6 again because we buffed stamina. Instead of buffing stamina classes as needed and where needed. So that's what's going to end up happening, I bet. And they'll probably fucking do Hurricane 2.0 or some shit. And, it's just gonna go around. Like I don't know, man. Like it's definitely better than Thieves Guild. That's what I say. Like for this patch, but there are some issues for sure. And I don't know. Stain's out of control. I'd like
But
to try this.
that's not really even a new issue, man. Like these duels have been happening since IC. I mean, even before. Well,
Oh,
no,
I know.
not
Yeah.
before IC, but
Like,
this has been like that since IC, pretty much.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's been a
See,
lot of that.
1.6 was burst, but at least in 1.6, when
You
someone
could be punished.
so when someone was off guard or they didn't CC break fast enough or whatever, you would really burst them. Right now,
Yeah.
you're fighting people and their health isn't moving because they're bigger and
Well, they did a heavy-handed sweep to fix things like people just insta-killing you from stealth with snipe.
Yeah.
So like, oh, okay, we'll just fucking do a flat damage reduction. Like that was the wrong approach. So
Yeah,
that was a band-aid
100%.
fix that had such a great effect on the whole game. It affected Zerg's strength, affected everything. And like that's still in game. Like we're still functioning with that. And now we have resources out of control on top of that. Now we're gonna have poisons on top of that. And what these poisons are really gonna do are gonna stress those differences between the strengths and classes.
Son of a
When one
bitch.
class has the ability to like really amp itself in all factors, and another one can only amp itself in a certain few, then those poisons, when those two guys go head to head, and they really put their best poisons against that character class, then you're gonna see those things separated even more. Because the one guy that has more options is going to be able to make up for them, and the other guy is just not going to be able to make up for them. And there's going to be a greater divide between them. Stamsork's going to feel that, I guarantee you. Like, people are going to use the right poisons. And again, I don't know what fucking poisons people are using. Like, I'm like, this is the other night I dueled, I had no poisons, and people were dueling me with poisons because I could tell. Like, one fight I went one way, and another fight I'm like, holy shit, my resources are out. And I'm like, oh, they're using a poison. And I'm instantly dying from, like, damage. Like, they're using two different ones. They're, like, managing, they're debuffing my resources, and then they're killing me with poison on the other bar. And, I mean, if you don't do that and you're just using weapon enchants, good fucking luck. Like, the things are ripping people. So, I mean, and you don't know which ones are hitting you again. You don't even know when they hit you. There's no real effect.
Yeah, the visual cues on the poisons are really minimal.
Yeah. You can kind of hear, I think. I think it's when your poisons proc, you hear it or something, but... Yeah. Kind of agree. It's better than stuff after 1.5.
This patch is better than previous patches.
I liked 1.6 better, though, actually.
As far as balance and stuff like that. And again, I'm not expecting people to be gimped, and I'm not also expecting people to not min-max. Like, that's... You gotta min-max when you gotta min-max. But
It's not even about that. It's... Feng understands he's gimped. He's just explaining it to people in the chat who don't quite understand that he's gimped. And there's people in chat saying things like Chief is just like dominating him with skill, and that's not the case.
no, Chief,
It's-
like, Chief
I'm glad I didn't read
He's
that.
a great
knows
player.
how to play.
Yeah,
Chief
he's a
knows how to
great
play.
player. He's a great player and
didn't see
great
that.
duelist. But let's call it like it is. He's not winning because of skill. He's winning because FENGRUSH's build can't stand up to
Hey,
his
who's...
build.
Hey!
It's a build thing. It's not a skill thing.
Like-
that was
like,
what the
what-
whole
Like, okay,
conversation was about.
like even if
Don't do
FENGRUSH was as skilled or even slightly more skilled than Chief, he would still be losing these fights. Like, he would still be losing. And FENGRUSH isn't like intentionally like going out of his way to gimp his build.
Yeah.
It's just happening. It's just like he's using a unique setup that's just not working out.
No.
The point is, there is no opportunity. There's no opportunity at all. Like, there's no weaknesses. Yes, FENGRUSH has more weaknesses than another player would, but with the builds that like Chief is playing, or with the build that I would be playing as well, you're able to, with the champion system, with the lack of soft caps, you're able to completely remove all weaknesses from yourself. Or like 99%
Yo,
of
wait a
your
minute.
weaknesses.
Where's the slaughterfish at?
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
I don't know. I'm good. Playing a game. Sorry.
Like, hey, we got too
Son
many
of a
complaints about
bitch.
slaughterfish deaths. We gotta nerf slaughterfish. Turn them off.
Oh, get him.
Or maybe they had too
Yeah.
many slaughterfish and it was causing Cyrodiil lag.
Oh, no. It's happened. I'm sorry to interrupt that. I
No,
don't
it's
want to
all
go
good.
out like a punk on the slaughterfish, but it happened. We're down. I need in case, yeah, lock him in.
I like this patch though. It's definitely the best patch
You
since.
son of a bitch.
It is. It's the best one in a
It's
while.
1.6. It's
And,
the best patch in a long time.
I think Cyrodiil's gonna see big groups still with the debt changes though. I want to say they should debt should be more volatile and dangerous, but it shouldn't even be a thing. Just get rid of them caps, but it ain't gonna happen, you know.
Yeah, better patch, but Cyrodiil's gonna be the same. Cyrodiil's gonna be Cyrodiil. I got a video on my YouTube channel.
Going to bit
It's
soon,
like
okay.
basically a 2v2 capture the flag match in IC. And that's like if they did that, the game would be so much better. It would just be 10 times better. Because I know when it goes live, it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be Zergs on those flags in IC. Or it's either gonna be a Zerg or nobody there at all. But on a PTS, I was getting like small scale PvP on those flags, and it was literally like a 2v2 capture the flag match. It was fun. It was legit.
I would dig that for sure. If it stays like that, I just hope it's not like 30 man. I'm gonna reply to Yoyi here. Yoyi, like, I just want to say, like, I don't know if that's a great example. Sribes is using a really, he's definitely like, he didn't make a build and it's like, this is my final build. This is final form Sribes. Because I've seen Sribes with better builds than what he's using right now. So I'm not going to be like, hey guys, I beat Sribes. This is the PTS. So, like, if people weigh victories on here, for starters, it's stupid. A lot of people are trying shit on here. A lot of shit is broken. A lot of shit is unbalanced, unfinished, and just bugged. So, just that for starters. But his build, again, this is not the best Sribes build I've seen by far. I'm sure he's just trying things. He's testing out the block and stuff. His build, I've run him out of resources too. How do you think I kill him? I killed him too, Yo-Yo-Yi. Like, I have to kill Sribes the same way I have to kill Chief. And Sribes has a lot more health and defense than Chief's build does. The problem is, Chief has enough health and damage mitigation that there's never a moment that I can burst him, and there's never a moment that he can't CC break. So if he can always CC break, get up, and he can always heal, and I can't reduce his heal, the only possible way to kill him is to burst him in that window when he hits the ground. And I can't even do that with Werewolf. Werewolf's the incorrect approach. The best approach is Dizzying Swing, fucking Dawnbreaker, Execute. That's the Wombo combo. That's always been around. That's how I have to do it. And the only way that kills him is if my damage is high enough and I've put enough dots on him just before that happens and I get a poison injection tick as it happens. I won't run him out of resources. I won't reduce his healing. I won't do any of that shit. None of that's going to happen. There's only... My options are limited with respect to the fact that resources are fucking out of control. And it's stupid, and I don't like it. So it is what it is. You know, that's been an issue for a while. Like, there's been problems all over the place, you know. Healers being able to breath of life forever, you know. There's shit all over the place in the game. But that's just an example of one right now. And that's fine. It is what it is, man. It's just that build doesn't work here. He has to fuck up. It's his fight to lose. It's not my fight to win. Alright, here we go. Sorry, I'm telling you guys I'm talking. I'm gonna fight Sribes. 1 second,
Sorry,
Sribes.